it's almost July, so I thought I'd do a summer update of the garden. We just wrapped up a garden tour here where we had some 100 people go through a garden and ask me a million questions about all the plants, which was fun. I wanted to show you guys though what's happening here in the garden. This is our front bank, and here we have just a whole bunch of plants that deer won't eat because this is the unfenced portion of the garden. So here we have euphorbia growing, daisies, different grasses, some pampas grass as well, lavenders. And then as we move closer to this end, I have my tropicals starting. So I have the big windmill, and I have the Camerops cerifera, which is doing really good. And I got the different yuccas. And then here a needle palm, which is also doing fairly good. Very slow growing though. It's rostrata and phormium, and then some rhododendrons in the back, some bamboo. And then if we go to the other side of the driveway, got some more yuccas here. This is a sable minor. This thing is, as you can tell, very slow growing, but it is shooting up a nice new spear. Appears to be healthy. No protection during the winter. We're in zone 8B, and the coldest we got this winter was -6 Celsius. The previous winter before that was -9 Celsius. But normally we hover above zero most of the winter. It's a yucca blue sentry. It's a cordyline indivisa. That one I had to protect a little bit this winter. Just put some leaves, heap them on top. That's about it. Another yucca elata, I believe it is. It's another sable minor. As you can see, it's pushing up a spear. Doing pretty good. This is a new addition to the garden. A banana yucca, or yucca baccata. Apparently they're quite cold tolerant and wet tolerant in our climate, which is what I need. This is my larger yucca rostrata. Kind of doing a funny thing this year. I did a separate video on it, but it's kind of leaning to the side and not tons of new growth on it, although the center looks very healthy, so I really don't think it's dying or anything. I have a suspicion it might want to branch and flower. Well, I should say flower and then branch, which always delays these guys when they do that. That goes for pretty much every yucca. There's another small razorback sable minor there. Unfortunately, it's getting crowded by all the other plants, so I have to uncover it. Another blue sentry. This is my eucalyptus. Very, very hardy. I always forget the species of this. The Buzivelia or something like that. Anyways, much more cold tolerant than the gunnii, which you see all over the place. Some collar guard yuccas, another rostrata, some phormium, and then my big evergreen magnolia, which is starting to bloom. Let me show you inside the fenced area. So here, as you step into the fenced off portion of the yard, this is where the deer do not get in, thank God, because they are little bastards and will eat everything. So here I have my bananas, musabaju. They're really starting to look nice now. Nice and tall. They're probably about 12 feet tall right now. And I have this Musa Blue Java, which is slowly getting bigger. It's getting a little shaded out by these fiber bananas, which I might have to cut back a bit just to give this Blue Java a bit more light. And this is Lasiocarpa Musa, or the lotus banana. And then over here we got our kind of wild portion of the garden. for the pollinators, which are good obviously for all the fruiting plants. So this is borage, and then we got a whole bunch of other lavenders and salvias. And the bees absolutely love it. And then we get to my other big Trachycarpus fortunii. This thing now is a good 15 feet tall. Very happy and healthy, putting on a lot of new growth this year. Zero protection during the winters. We've got a fatsia, camofatsia there. And these are all different types of rhododendrons. I really like growing them for their different foliage and obviously for the blooms. Here we got my Schlafera taiwaniana, which is getting really big. And also very hardy, no protection this winter. The only time it defoliated fully was when we had that -9 and we had really cold winds blowing, and then it defoliated. But what happened is that after it did that, it branched. So you can see that tip right there is where it got damaged from the cold and died back a bit. But then when the warm weather came in, it started branching from that spot. So, which is nice because it looks better than just a single stick like it was up to that point. This is the monstrous Tetrapanax papyrifer rex. And as you can see, it's almost as tall as the palm. It's 10 feet tall currently. And very happy, sends a lot of runners out, so you got to be aware that these can be invasive in zones 8A and up, meaning you have to keep tabs on the runners and the little pups coming up. Very hardy this year. We didn't really have any dieback. The leaves fall off, but then the stalk stays firm. So I have another obsidian banana back there, starting to gain some size. And this is an olive. As you can see, it's got tons of little olives on it. Or I should say those are flowers that will be olives, as this is a self-pollinating variety. And then we just have some more ornamental plants. Magnolia. This is a mountain ash, which is actually a native plant to our area. And then we have a weeping cherry there, and then a whole bunch. This is my azalea area, all azaleas, and then we got a lot of hostas and forest grasses along here. So it's quite busy in here, but I like it because it chokes the weeds out. And that's the front garden with the lawn. And then over here we have my beautiful Jubea, which I was worried about this spring after winter because it had some die-off on the spear coming up. And I think what it was, I did a separate video on it, so please check it out. But I think what it was the Christmas lights had burnt the tip. So wherever there was dead or dying off tissues from heat damage. So I ended up just cutting the frond wherever it was dead because I didn't want to look at that. So it was this frond that was damaged, and then the frond down there that was damaged. But as you can see, it's perfectly happy and healthy, and it's shot up this new frond up here, and it's got another spear coming up. So it is definitely not dead. In fact, pretty happy. And yeah, that's probably my favorite palm in the whole garden for obvious reasons. It's the Camerops humulus cerifera. I put it in this pot. I had it in a smaller pot before, but I put it in this beautiful ceramic pot. I think it looks really good, and I think it's gonna live its life in that pot. I might have to protect it if it gets really, really cold, but otherwise they're quite hardy. They're not huge fans of the wet, but in my opinion, they do better than the regular Camerops humulus. And then here's another clump of Musabaju, also gaining some size, looking pretty good. This is my cat. No updates to give you regarding him. He's a Persian, in case you're wondering. Oh, sorry, he's not Persian. He's a Himalayan. Yeah. Anyways, I'll get it right one year. This is the deck area. So I mostly have ornamental plants up here, rhodos, Japanese maples, ginkgos. That's Trachycarpus wagnerianus. This is cycad. This is part of my agave collection. Another wagnerianus tucked in the corner there. Plumeria. Trachycarpus fortunii in a pot. I might have to plant this guy out one year because he's starting to get big. I grew that one from a little seedling, believe it or not. And this side of the deck we have the Brahea armata, and then nice variegated ginkgo. Always wanted one of those. Another razorback sable minor. And then down here we have a Trachycarpus menopore and a small jubea. And then over here, Japanese maple. And this is the succulent garden. Different types of succulents. And then this is a Brugmansia maya, which is a variegated type. And over here, some more Japanese maples. Oh, and over here we have another Brugmansia. This is called Snowbank. Anyways, that was the deck. In the corner here we have kind of a shady area, some big dogwood here. And we have a little water feature in here, although it's covered in plants currently. Some more Japanese maples here. Yeah, rhododendron. This is a Brugmansia. Hasn't bloomed yet this year. This little corner, I had a Dicksonia antarctica, but it died again this winter. So I think I'm gonna give up on those. I planted temporarily a Cooperi here, just to fill in the spot. I think it looks kind of good in there. And then I do have a smaller Dicksonia antarctica here, which survived. So maybe I'll let that one keep growing, see how it does. These are the avocados. Sadly, no avocados again this year. So I think I'm gonna have to give them some new soil. These are already 15-gallon pots. I don't want to go much bigger than that because it makes it hard to move them. This one actually flowered, but I won't believe there's any fruit on it. Sorry, black fig. It's doing well this year, producing figs. Got my giant timber bamboo back there. This is the citrus corner. Got different types of citrus. They usually produce pretty well each year. I just harvested a whole bunch not too long ago. As you can see, you got fresh flowers on some of them already. This is the courtyard with the greenhouse. Not much new happening in the greenhouse. We're mostly growing food in there. In our aquaponics system, which I have separate videos on if you want to check out. Some very big agaves. Just basking in the sun. This is an aloe. Very ferocious one, very sharp. That's the backyard. So since my last update video, I built this potting bench for my wife and myself so we could use it. It's all plumbed up with running water. And currently it's just housing some extra succulents up there. And that drains right down into the garden again. So it just, the water goes back to the other plants. Just growing all kinds of vegetables here, squash, garlic. We got corn at the very end here. And This is our tomato trellis, where we're growing our tomatoes along this trellis. It basically helps support them once they get loaded with fruit. This is potatoes that we're growing. This is our berry patch. Grow raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, goji berries, red currants, gooseberries. Probably forgetting a few strawberries. There's a lot of stuff in here. We pulled out our big plum tree that we used to have here. It was an Italian plum and used to just get constant problems with pests and fungus. So we just got rid of it. Planted this apple tree in its place. This is our plum tree. Plum is already producing fruit. Let's see, go this way. These are guavas, strawberry and lemon guava. They produce fruit every year. They're kind of seedy fruit, but still taste very nice and sweet. Has the guava flavor. So here we built this archway for the cucumbers to grow on. So eventually they should cover that archway, and the idea is the cucumbers will hang from the top and we can harvest them really easy. This is garlic right there. Here under this covered area we have our peaches and nectarines, and it's a surefire way to prevent peach leaf curl by having them covered so they don't get the morning dew. These are the nectarines. Oh, and I also have a pineapple guava here. Hasn't produced anything yet, although it looks like it's going to flower. Should be cool. There's another peach here. These are our smoke bushes. And then we have our pawpaw trees back there. And then our kiwi vine is further down. You can't even see it, but it's separating us and the neighbors. It's a giant magnolia. It's huge, huge leaves. Really beautiful plant. Very exotic looking. Oh, let me show you our cherry tree. It's really popping this year. This is our cherry tree. And we have to start harvesting because the crows and birds are coming, which is why we have these pie plates up. I'm not even sure they work that well. But look at those cherries. Are they beautiful? Really producing well this year. I even built a scarecrow here. I'm not sure if it's working. Scares me more than the birds. Yeah, stay away from my cherries, bastards. Anyways, what else we got here? We got Japanese maple, some ornamentals underneath, Japanese forest grass, hostas. Here we have a dogwood, very good dogwood. Here we have another Schlafera de la Vei. Very hardy plant, very exotic looking, beautiful foliage, the new growth. Here I have a little Trachycarpus princeps crossed with a Fortunii growing in there. Yeah, check these out. They get really nice endomentum too. Basically the underside of the leaves. Yeah, check out the raspberries. These are thornless raspberries. Really good eating. Yum. Apple tree. We really have to thin out our apples. Otherwise they don't produce really good big apples. Coming up here is the backyard. Mostly ornamentals back here. And then lastly, oh yeah, check out the black currants. Sorry, these are gooseberries, not black currants, gooseberries. It's an acquired taste, very European, which I am, so I love them. My mom used to always give me those when I was a child. Here's the last area I want to show you. This is my new project. It's going to be a rhododendron garden where there's going to be big leaf rhododendrons growing, which they are already. And they're really big. Check out that leaf size, nice texture to it. So I got all these growing, and then some regular rhodos in the back. It's a Yukigumo, Japanese maple, otherwise known as the floating cloud. I wonder why they call it a floating cloud. Check that out, huh? Very unique plant. So that's it, guys. That's an update for almost July. So we got at least 3 months of nice weather coming up. So I'm really looking forward to that. Hopefully we get some rain and it's not too dry, because that is a trend nowadays. These olives will sure appreciate the heat though. Maybe we'll get lots of olives this year, which will be nice. Hope you guys are doing well. If you have any questions, please post below, and I'll do my very best to answer them. Thanks for watching and have a great day.